Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Kranzer, and today I'm going to be playing Gall in the Gall package. As far as a little bit about the hero, he's one of the more unique, as he is two players controlling one body. Cho does all the movements and has his own attacks. His Q is a wind-up dash that he can do. I think it takes like a half second to a second to charge it up before he can dash. His W is an AoE that can be talented to increase his survivability. And his E, he throws out a bomb, which Gall, the other head, then blows up. At level 1, I picked up the shove talent. There's the bomb. So he throws the bomb out, the other player, and I blow it up. I picked up shove, which lets you nudge the body, because as Gall, you have no control over movements, only your attacks. So I picked that up to give us a little bit of a, like, get out of the AoE, or get out of the circle of Nazeebo's wall. What is that called? Zombie wall. And, you know, at level 1, I would instead go with the other talent that reduces the cooldown of Hurry Up Both when you hit with your abilities. That would probably be more ideal, honestly. But in this case, we were just trying some things out. The build that I wanted to go with this game was more of a siege-oriented build. So I told my Cho player to try to keep me in range of the bomb/orbs as much as possible, so that we could just constantly be applying a pressure. And you could see, first of all, it's not a good idea to place a single hero against Gall. It's really not. You should have two people guarding him. So that was kind of a mistake on their part to put Nazeebo in that position. But you know, it's what they did. So we're not going to complain about the advantage that they're giving us. But you can see that I've already blown up the wall, and I'm working on the first tower now. If we can get in closer, then I can adjust those orbs. So Gall's abilities, let's talk about those. His Q is a really short cooldown straight line skill shot, which that's not it. There it was, that little blast, that line that I shot out. I just shot at Tracer. That's his Q. His W is that orb that you see bouncing, and that's one of the more unique abilities as well, because it bounces 3 times, and the closer you are to the hero when you release, like with your mouse or your reticle, is the shortening or the lengthening appropriate of the bounces. So the closer you are to the hero with your mouse pointer, when you release that ability, the smaller the burst or the bounces are going to have between them. So like what you're seeing now is max range with the bouncing. But you can make them practically stack on top of each other with each bounce. But I'm just trying to make sure that I land at least a shot on those turrets. Just sieging it constantly, making sure that we get the damage in. And the wave clear of this hero is quite insane when you have Cho and Gall working together with the bomb and everything. And you can see, like I said, other than like a couple appearances from the enemy team, it's been mostly just Nazeebo, and we are pushing him in rather hard, which I guess would be causing us a problem in a different lane, because they're getting to do a power play there, but it's not helping this lane at all. Now, as far as the overall build, right? That's kind of important, like what all we picked up going all the way through. At level 4, I picked up the bombs away, which increases the range of Cho's bomb, so he can throw the bomb further by 20%. And there's a gank attempt that I used both my shove and our speed boost to get us out of. Any other hero would have died. Well, not every other hero. Most heroes would have died in that gank, because they had they had us surrounded pretty well. So at 4, like I told you, I wanted to increase the siege range of our hero. So we went the bomb range increase. No. I think I'm wrong there. I think I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure I went with Runic Persistence, actually. Yeah, Runic Persistence. I'm wrong. Totally wrong. Thought I got the range increase. I got Runic Persistence, so that when I cause the bomb to explode, it no longer it explodes, but the projectile stays. So you can see it going out. I blow it up, but it comes back. That's Runic Persistence. So the bomb, it doesn't destroy his bomb anymore when I blow it up, so it can roll back and deal more damage. So yeah, that's what we went with. My bad. I mistook that. At 7, we picked up the Edge of Madness, which increases the damage of Shadow Flame by up to 20%. And I think it's cut into thirds. So if they're within the first third of the ability's range, it increased by 20%. Those within the second third of the ability's range, which I'm not how you're going to measure that. Just going to kind of guess. Those within the second third of the ability's range will get 10%, and those beyond will get only the base damage of the ability. Dark Descent would have probably been more ideal for us in this case. So that was a good one. I'll talk about those ults in a second. But I think Dark Descent might have been better for the extra damage on the bomb. But we got what we got. In level 10, I picked up the Shadow Bolt Volley. It's a give and take ability. It has a lot of power. It's very strong. You can do a ton of damage like you just saw us do to that keep. I think it was like half the keep's or fortress's HP with the volley plus some of the other abilities. So it's a really, really strong ability. It's only got a 60-second cooldown. But it's hard as hell to aim. That's its drawback. Trying to rotate up and down, you know, it tracks really slowly, kind of like probably about the same speed or maybe even a little slower than Diablo's Lightning Breath ult. It tracks really slow when it moves. So if, you know, people move around a lot, it's hard to aim. They almost got us. And then that HP, that well just like does massive heals for this guy. Gonna drop a double shot on them. That's gonna make them go away. But yeah, he picked up the Upheaval, I think is what it's called, ult, which he does this earthquake thing and then drags people into us. You can combine the two ults really, really well, really effectively. And even Tracer has to back off. Yeah, that's right, Cancer. Cancer stick. Back the fuck out of here. So we've been up here the whole time just pressuring and pressuring and pressuring, even though we haven't killed this keep yet, or this fortress, and it's level 13. We probably should have killed it by now. But we've also not practiced together. This is our second game as Gall as a team. And that keep's dead, or fortress. I keep saying keep. They should just all be called keeps. I don't know. But now we're getting into the point where our damage is really going to start rising. We picked up, no pun there, the Rising Dread, which causes the second orb bounce to do 25% more damage and the third orb bounce to do 75% more damage. So if you can land the second and the third orb on somebody, that's a lot of extra, you know, it's like you landed a whole other orb, like you landed all 3 on one target, if you can land 2. Here's a good grab. Brought her back into the fight when she was trying to get out. And but our Sonya got killed because we didn't have any follow-up. Now, this game I told my Cho player that we want to play more like a mage or a long-range specialist somebody who's not going to be up in the fray so much. And that's kind of what we're doing. Like the game before this, we played kind of aggressive melee, and the enemy team had a Diablo that was completely up our ass the whole game and constantly causing us trouble. Yeah, eat those shots. And that's when they get close like that, it's not that hard to land them. And now we're gonna chase this guy down. We don't care even if they got that Dragon Knight. We don't care. We want that kill. But with the Rising Dread, that's going to be the changeover point. And also, I was talking about the siege thing. So that's why we didn't really follow up with Sonya getting in the face, because I was like, let's just play a little bit back this time. Let's just play more ranged and just use that giant HP advantage, and then you can also use your attacks and stuff when needed. But let's focus mostly on me being able to siege from really far away. So in case anybody's wondering why we're playing kind of back, I just find it to be necessary. Because this guy gets CC'd so easily and gets deleted if he's CC'd. So you got to be careful of that crowd control. We're rolling right into level 16, and level 16 is when it's gonna take shape. Like the whole build comes to completion. 20 alt increase is just like icing on the cake, really. 16 is when we get the Twilight Nova, which causes our Dread Orb that bounces to also bounce out 2 other times from the first bounce. So like you're seeing, it does the 3 bounces in a row right now. When I pick that talent up, that's going to change, and just the amount of space that it shoots out and covers is going to be significantly increased. Also, this talent that we picked up, the Twilight Nova, the orbs work in conjunction with your talent before, the Rising Dread. So those 2 orbs that you see on the side that look like balls on a dick, those 2 orbs are increased by 25% damage. So it's just saying that, just stacking up the damage. If you get into a keep in the proper location, you can land all your orbs on a keep. And so you'll hit the keep with 5 orbs, and 3 of those orbs will be doing 75% damage more, and that 1 orb, cumulatively, those 3 orbs. And then the last orb will hit for 75%, so you'll be doing 150% more damage than what the ability is normally supposed to do in the first place, just on the bonus damage, plus the 2 extra orbs hitting anyway. So you just saw us delete that fortress. And that's when the capacity, like I said, comes into full play. You get that good positioning, and then also, this is the other thing, once you get those Dread Orbs to do the multiple shots like that, his ability to do camps goes through the roof. Like, he can do camps before this, for sure. He can. But his ability to clear camps just gets exponentially better once he gets the level 16 upgrade to his orb. Now, what we should have been doing at this point of the game is pressuring with our advantages, because you can see in the map, like, just, how much team versus team each team has got as far as clearing lanes or keeps, fortresses. We've got the advantage. Now, of course, we're fighting for the shrine right now, and there's this extension going on. So I aimed that all kind of bad, but still got the kill. Still got the kill. But you can see how slow it tracks from side to side, making it really difficult against high mobility enemies. Like I would never suggest using it on Tracer, Zeratul, because if they blink like straight down, horizontal, like vertically on the map, away from your shot, you're probably not even going to be able to track it onto them where they landed, much less if they continue moving. So now we got that dragon, and we cleared this camp real fast. We're going to go push bottom. Just pressure. And here's poor old Nazebo trying to 1v2 us. So the team killed that middle fort, and now we got this camp pushing, and we're gonna go in. We're not afraid of Nazebo and his gargantuan whatsoever. Just keep on landing those shots. So every single bomb that we land, every single orb, it all just stacks together, and then that, of course, that ult deletes that tower. And Zebo's in trouble. Look at this grab. Pulled his ass right back into us. And that's GG for Nazebo there. So now we got the dragon down here helping us a little bit, and the enemy team's going to try to sweep us from behind, but we still got our movement speed boost, so we can run. And we get out of there no problem. Level 20 rolls around, we get Shadow Fury talent. This makes my level 10 ability, my Shadow Bolt volley, pierce. So now I can just shoot through a bunch of motherfuckers if I want to. You know, they all line up in a nice straight line, or we get like a really good Thrall Sundering, something like that. I don't think it happens, but one of those situations comes around, I can just land my ult through their whole team's face. Like a chain gang of destruction here. And here's this camp, you know, like I was saying before. We took practically no damage. All the damage is going to be healed off by that heart that we picked up, the regen globe. And we cleared that camp in like record time. Now I'm pretty sure they're going to be over here. I'm guessing they're over here. Yes, right. So we're going to get in here. We're going to shoot this slut with all these missiles. Well, miss most of them, actually. I just punched Cho in the face to move him. So I was like, all right, we're starting to get a little low. Let's back out. So we back out. We draw her with us, and everybody just coincide, like drops on her face. So now, for one of the first times in the match, we're gonna back, heal up a little bit, and we kind of left the team hanging. Like we could have stayed there and kept sieging from a long range. We could have. So we kind of left the team hanging there. If we would have stayed, that's kind of our bad. You know, we made a mistake. But had we have stayed there, and the enemy team got that camp too, we would have been able to help the team keep fighting and probably end up winning that fight completely. But if Cho Gall dies, it's 2 people dying, so you have to keep that in mind. You're not just killing yourself, you're also killing another player, so it makes the fights 3v5 immediately rather than 4v5. So really you got to be aggressive, but at the same time careful enough. Oh, I missed that grab. See, that's what I was saying about the ult. I just missed so much of it. Like almost all of my ult missed. But we keep on clearing these waves. He clears waves so fast. And we're going to be pushing into the bottom lane. So they're pushing top a little bit. We're going to get the mercenary camp real quick, like. Trying to see, he gave me a really good aim with that orb, and it just deleted those guys. Well, the first one anyway. So after we're gonna pick up the dragon here on this next one. Our team's gonna get Dragon Knight because they're just trying to defend against the onslaught of Cho Gall plus the siege giants. They're having to displace a lot of resources to deal with us, so that gives our team the advantage other places on the map. And also their Thrall was dead this whole time. So we're just going to keep on pressuring them with the bombs. Missed Nazebo. Now I'm going to shoot my ult too, just to pressure him away. Like we're trying to keep him away from the key or the shrine so that we can guaranteedly get it. That's what we were trying to do. And if we keep the lane from pushing, he has to stay back. Like he can't over-engage and then capture the shrine. So even though we both blew our ults there, we managed to keep it safe long enough. Now had the enemy team came in force, we would have been in trouble. True. But we were taking that risk. And my ult's already half cooled down, so it'll be up again pretty soon. Now in this situation, the Dragon Knight's going mid, and we're gonna sit here and just look at that pressure. Of course, Sonya's definitely helping us. You know, we didn't do it all ourselves. But that pressure that we applied, the Dragon Knight comes in kind of like, oh, you guys already killed it. Never mind. I missed that. I missed that bomb. That was totally a bomb opportunity right there. Got him that time though. Now we should really be pressuring. I mean, yeah, getting in there at least close enough to land the bomb and the orbs. And here comes the ult. Yeah, they just walk right into it. They just stacked right into it, and then he hit him with the ult, his ult, the upheaval, and just lined him right up. Got 2 kills immediately, and then landed the third guy down low enough to where it was an easy finish. And this is an opportunity for our team. This situation happens, you don't have to go balls deep, run into the middle of the keep, and then, like, you know, eat the shots. But you should definitely be actively sieging into the base to pressure it, because there's no it's 5 versus 3 or 2 at this point. So we should be pressuring into them as much as we can. Sonya doing that camp up there, and Sagara doing this camp down here. We could have killed that middle keep at that point right there. But now that they're doing those camps and our Thrall died, we're going to come down here and do this camp and just help us secure all the camps on the map. So while we could have killed the keep as a team and possibly even pushed the game to an end, probably not, but possibly. And then after we killed the keep, we all could have backed out and fanned over all the camps and had a keep and all the camps. But that's quick match for you. I mean, you can't expect people to all work together without comms or communications or anything like that. So we got a decent amount, you know. It wasn't the most amount that we could have retrieved out of the situation, but it was worthwhile. So I'm not going to complain about it. Here comes Thrall. He wants to lightning us in the butt. We're just going to keep on shooting more dicks at him. But at this point in the game, it's oh, look at this gank. This is gonna be good right here. I'm gonna ult them and see how in this situation, because we're still learning how to use the hero properly. That's a good pullback. So we got 2 kills on that. Are we gonna save our? Yep. 3 kills. We got 3 kills out of that. Tracer had to leave, so that's gonna net us the Dragon Knight again. That's gonna have to get us the Dragon Knight with that advantage. But in that fight, instead of me really re-aiming my ult so much, Cho was moving up and down, and that's how we aimed the shots to hit the majority. Instead of me aiming it, he was aiming for me, and then I was doing small tweaks after that. But this is going to end up being the match here. We're going to end up killing this. Watch the damage on this core though when I activate my ults and my orbs and everything. Just look at this. The Dragon Knight's helping. Everybody's helping. It's true. But that damage, that is such a ridiculous amount of damage. And we ended up the game in like 200k, 230k range for me. Victory. So Gall could definitely be a siege specialist if needed. The uniqueness of the hero, you're going to have to work him into the compositions, but he can definitely work. But anyway, that's all for me. That's all. If you like the video, subscribe, thumbs up, all that fun stuff, and I hope to catch you next time.